Let's move to jungle. Jungle is interesting because I don't, you look at the two junglers in the finals, Jhin was benched and Oner didn't have a dominant year. So I don't think that's the clear front runner. So why don't we throw out some names here? We can go with the MVP of the LPL. I think that one's probably a pretty good take there. And also he played well in the early matches in Tien. Who else jumps out?
Peanut baby.
Peanut, okay.
Canyon, of course.
Canyon.
Of course.
Yeah, I think Canyon is also another good one. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't being biased here. But I think Tien has like a really good case. If we thought about at the very beginning of the season, Milky Way, his star shined so bright. It was so bright at the very beginning. He was the hottest player at that time.
I suggest
Tarzan.
Are we sure that Milky Way wasn't actually Tarzan?
Yeah, at the very beginning.
Can we combine Milky Way Spring with Tarzan Summer into one super jungler and then just vote on him?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? If only. Is there anyone else that we're missing? So, Canyon, Peanut. I'm thinking
Yoshik.
Oner.
Out.
I sent that message. On my end, I think for me, I would only like for rank 1. I know that even though T1 was slumping, I do think that Oner had a pretty fucking insane year. I think like EWC doesn't matter, but I think he played out of his fucking mind at that tournament. I think in spring he played really fucking well as well when they made it to finals. I think that to get them to even playoffs in summer when T1 was trash, Oner played also out of his fucking mind. I think he had a great
completely galactically clapped him in those matches.
He did in those matches. But when they were really bad, I agree with your motto. He was the consistent rock that you could kind of hang your hat on.
It's like in terms of the summer playoffs, I think Oner was pretty fucking ass. That yep. I agree. Like Oner playoffs and also regionals, that would be like the biggest knock against them. And then for me on Canyon side, it's like it's weird because I do think in the most important games, Canyon plays out of his fucking mind. It's just that like the Kha'Zix moment into the Zin, right? Or like even the finals against How Alive that they lost, I think Canyon guy got shit for no fucking reason at all. I think that the main knock against Canyon is that I think that his regular seasons are largely like uninteresting. But is that like a problem? Because they're winning anyway. Like there was this statistic about how Genji had like the lowest first blood percentage, and in a lot of those games, Canyon was just like kind of chilling. But it wasn't a problem, so I don't know if I can hold that against him, Like for me, those are the two names that come to mind about first. But I think I would lean to put Canyon number 1.
Yeah, Canyon was the Nidalee meta guy. That was him. He in summer at least, like he had the Nidalee card.
Like he's the reason why. Like they started losing. They were down to top esports at MSI, and then he's pulled out Nidalee. Won a couple games, and then it became like first pickable because he was just so good every single time he played it. So, yeah, I don't know. To me, I think Canyon is like definitely the best jungler over the course of the year. And then also, like, I mean, I think once again, I like to think about how players go out. Like I always think about how they go out. You think about like his game 1 Skarner, like in the Genji series, no one is saying they lost because of Canyon, right?
No,
the game
not.
for Nidalee, like, I mean, he was playing really fucking well in these team fights. Like when Nidalee's not even supposed to be that strong at that point in the team fights, he's completely smurfing. So it's like, what can you really say? I mean, he's not the reason they lost again. He's just solo alive, watches everyone die in front of him, and then his game is over.
Even that Drake fight that they won, right, to come back into the game, I was so shocked to see like the damage done. It's like Nidalee 6k like most damage done. I was like, what the fuck? How? I had to rewatch. He's like just perma DPSing. It was nuts.
All right. We have now glazed the sub church of Canyon, but it's time to hear about the nut god from Monty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just because Peanut actually had an extremely good year overall, and he didn't even deliver, I think, the choke performance that we've come to appreciate from him at Worlds, which was very nice to see. I think that when he's been in a lot of the head-to-head matchups, He has done extremely well. He's often the reason why they're winning early games in the first place. I think he's by far the most creative jungler when it comes to pathing in the LCK. I think he's the most cerebral jungler. I think he is probably the best shot caller in the LCK as well. And the thing about Canyon is that I do agree with you guys, and it's hard to knock him in some of the biggest moments that he really hasn't been that point of failure and has been, in fact, a major carry strength. But there were a lot of regular season games where he was absolutely phoning it in. And I guess it just depends on how much you want to weight those, as opposed to Peanut, who I think was more consistently excellent even in the regular season games.
That's true. I felt like Peanut was more integral to the success of Hanwha Life, whereas it felt like there was some autopilot. There was some autopiloting that was happening with his peers.
I
Kenny
feel
would
bad
like
for
run it
Tien,
down
though.
sometimes, man. It was bad.
Well, I feel very bad for Tien because it's like the plague of this top esports roster is like if you look at the average of how they played, then I think top esports was really, really good. But if you isolate their elimination series, wherever it was, MSI or even like LPL playoffs like against Weibo or Worlds, it's just so pathetic. And I don't blame that on Tien at all, because like even I remember I had to fight off the narratives. So it was like this: they just played against G2 and they lost, and it's like, haha, Yamara told you Tien is a choker. I was like, bro, Tien did 2 camps before his bot lane got double killed. 2 camps. 2 camps. Can we look at the context? What for the love of God? Like Tien was getting so much shit. And
Well, he
really
should have
blamed
just
me
one
because
camped and walked bot. Jeez, he only needs level 2. God.
he should play with TP. He should TP under the tower. That was just it was so painful because I think Tien had a really, really good year, and I think he was definitely like the victim of his circumstance. But in the end, it's like you need to get to those games, right? To make a statement for yourself, like Canyon has. So it's hard to let them cross over some of the names that I've
And
been
if
mentioned, but
Tarzan
I
had
think
had a
his
whole
was
year
good.
of playing, I think he would be in this conversation
Yeah.
too, because his summer split, I mean, he started terrible, but by the end, the brand games were coming through. He was excellent in towards the end of summer.
I mean, even at Worlds, he had some really good games. Like he had the Morgana game, which was really insane. Like he was able to pull out pretty much like all the junglers that you'd expect when it came to the entire year. He was the best brand player. It felt like he could play tanks. It felt like he could play the Nidalee. He has one of the only junglers that had the Nidalee pass. Domestically, he was able to pull out the Elise. Like he literally has the infinite champion pool, and he can play like all styles and all champions at a pretty good level. So it's interesting to watch him play. I'm a Tarzan enjoyer. He just didn't have the body of work, right? Like he just didn't have the world semifinals and making it to finals is a great result considering the team that he was on. But he just didn't play in spring and MSI, right? So can't give him anything more than that.
Yeah. Who would be and anyone from the West? I mean, I guess if you go down the list, yeah, it would probably be Inspired. It's not Umpty. Sorry, Umpty.
Definitely not the Ike.
It's not Yike or
I don't think Razork did enough.
Razork. Yeah. So there's your best of the West for the jungle role in Inspired. My MVP again. I voted for him in spring. That was trash.
So what would be our ranking though? We're doing top 5. Is that the
top
game?
5.
All right, you guys won me over on the Canyon one. I have Canyon trauma from watching too many of his regular season games where he just like invades and then just dies on Sejuani for no reason, and then it's just like a 35-minute game where they try and battle back and outscale.
Yeah, where do we Canyon, Peanut,
Tien.
Oner, Tien,
Tien.
Oner? I think Tien, Oner.
Yeah,
Peanut
I
would
like
have Oner
Oner
above
this
him.
year. I will put Oner above, yeah. I think for me the main conversation is Oner versus Peanut, but I do agree that Peanut, like even at Worlds, was really fucking good. Like the Poppy games against Billy when they got eliminated, like he was fucking dragging, he was doing good shit. So I can see Peanut second, and then probably I would put Oner third, but I'm easy. You guys can make the decisions.
Yeah. Canyon gets the dub. Canyon,
For our
Peanut,
very
/Oner.
important and official awards.
Yes.
I thought we're sending them AG1.
Canyon, Peanut, Oner, Tien, Tarzan. I think that sounds good. That feels good. Maybe you can swap Oner and Peanut, but either one works there.